Oh boy.
Your yes is funny. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Darcy.
Good morning, Jeff.
We had a little technical clicky difficulty today.
That's true, we did. It happens. It's early.
We had a Aaron double click. I'm going to adjust my desk and sit down. It's probably mess up
Sound is
the
creaky.
calibration.
Oh, recalibrate.
Probably need to. I just got short. Look, a little scrunchy person. So today we have some big news. Not we. Crypto has big news.
It's like we do.
You're like, oh, what's going on? One of those good old Jeff surprises at the last
Yeah.
second.
Wouldn't be the first time. And that'd be okay.
Yes, you are running the show with your screen, and all my tabs don't matter.
Oh.
That's a surprise. It was just a trick. I was just pretending to get ready. So, let's look at the market. The big news is things aren't looking good. 1.7. I think our last look was 1.92 or 6. I think we were somewhere in that range, maybe even a 9.7. So we've lost, what is that? $150 billion or so. So that's never fun. But
No,
do you know why?
no, I don't.
Everything kind of tumbled yesterday. Our
Mm.
good old friend, Mr. Inflation,
Yeah.
is having his way with the markets right at the moment. So if we look at the general trend, it's a little down, which is a good time to not worry about the prices, but instead learn about the projects. Or check your 401k because now Fidelity is going to allow retirement savers to put Bitcoin in your 401k accounts. You don't have to mess with an exchange. You don't have to give out any private information in another site. You don't have to understand anything other than your current 401k adjustments.
And that's
And
Bitcoin, not crypto?
it
Or
is specifically Bitcoin. And I will imagine it'll be that way for a while. Bitcoin will be the one. I have Ethereum could possibly be another one,
Mhm.
but at the moment, I have not heard of anybody doing outside of those two. And it's pretty much only all Bitcoin
Yeah.
as far as institutional, big time um, groups allowing the public to purchase through them. It's a different story if they're, I think there are companies buying other projects, coins for their own investments, but I don't think there is a case of anybody allowing like a real mainstream investment group allowing the public to buy other than Bitcoin or maybe Ethereum through them. Tons of places to buy them, but just not through the established traditional stocks investment type people, money managers. But this is big because Fidelity is a pretty big one.
That is big. Interesting.
And this is to employers, so it's all through your work, and you'll be able to just opt into having a little Bitcoin. I don't know if I really like that a lot, but it's okay. It's okay for me. I don't know if I like it as the person buying it because you don't control your Bitcoin.
Yeah.
It would be what Robinhood. I think Robinhood just changed. Well, we have to look at that one of these days. I don't like Robinhood that much, but Robinhood used to not allow you to really have your own wallet. It was group wallets, and I think they changed that now. But there you go. Big deal. You can allocate as
Just
much
so
as.
you know, I when I have my glasses on, my eyes keep doing wonky things, so I'm having a hard time seeing. I'm gonna do my best to follow along. Just wanted to warn you now.
Do I need to zoom in the page?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, I'll do the next one. So today we're going to do more newsy type stuff and discussion versus learning. We're going to learn about some projects here towards the end, but there was some interesting things that I saw. Skybridge goes all in on crypto. What is Skybridge? Skybridge Capital is working on pivoting a majority of assets under management to digital. Yeah, I thought this was something else.
Oh, it's a hedge fund.
Mm-hmm. Which is just more.
I was like, why
More.
does that name sound familiar? But I think I was thinking of Skynet.
Skynet. Well, I was thinking, what is it called? Bitcoin. Yeah, I was thinking it was the Lightning Network for some reason.
What's Lightning Network?
I'll do this one. Have you learned what Swift is? I forget what it even stands for. It was something interesting. It's the payment system. Let me see if I can say it before I have to read it. It's the payment system that Bitcoin operates on. If I'm saying that correctly. I just heard my battery backup cycle. I was like, oh no, I'm losing power.
Well, Oliver's barking, so the home life.
Okay, the Lightning Network solves. So, Bitcoin itself takes time to validate a block. So it looks
Wait,
like every
what?
time it
Wait.
takes time to process a block on the network
Oh,
to
okay.
validate it.
Yep.
And it says a new block is mined on average every 10 minutes. And it's standard to require a transaction to be included in several mine blocks for a transaction to be considered confirmed. The limited space in the blockchain means that transactions compete to be included in the block. Miners will want to maximize their income and pick the transactions that give them the highest fees. With the current demand for transactions, transaction fees become disproportionately high for smaller payments. Lightning Network solves the limited throughput of Bitcoin payments on the Bitcoin blockchain and dramatically decreases the transaction fees for smaller payments. Utilizing the Lightning Network, millions of people can send fractions of Bitcoin at an instant speed at the same time. So it's like a layer 2. But it's what will likely be adopted for everybody to transact on. So Lightning Network is an API.
Okay.
Right? Isn't that what the connections would be? If you wanted to send something, transfer something from one group to another group, that would be an integration, right?
Yeah. Seems like the best way.
And the integration could be a lot of different forms, but likely it's going to be an API. And then that would be probably what everybody's using. Just interesting. So that's what I thought it was a second ago, but
With something else.
it was something else. Radical. A decentralized alternative to GitHub for Web3. You guys are big on GitHub, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we use it.
You should transition to Radical.
Oh, yeah, that sounds way cooler.
You know, Slack and Radical should team up. And you would have Slackers, Radical Slackers.
Yep. Yeah, we also use Slack. So that would work. That would totally be us.
So here they had a Ethereum convention in Amsterdam, and there is a video for talking about Radical. Peer-to-peer code distribution with Radical. So what is Radical? It's a decentralized code collaboration network. They've basically taken the familiarity of GitHub and GitLab as a centralized repositories for code collaboration, leveraging all full features of Git's version control and added decentralization, while also integrating a number of Web3 identity features. You can start a Radical project by cloning something stored in a Git repository. So if you're already using Git but want to move away from one of the centralized repositories, the onboarding experience is pretty seamless. You can see from the demo in the video, the command line interface will feel familiar. Yeah, that's easy to do. Oops. See, there's that click again. There are two types of identities. Both are used by the Radical peer. What do you think?
I like it. I think I like it for well, I guess I don't know what I think. It's I don't see the value. I'm sure it's there, I just don't know what it is. Yeah.
So here is what it looks like it does. That is interesting. Its main, I'm going to say its main thing, and I never really thought about this until I read it, is establishing identity. So Radical has you create an identity with a key pair from the CLI. This identity persists as part of the project when it is published to one or more of the seed nodes in the Radical network. One benefit of this approach is that you can see the full history of identity and know that the identity is the same across all projects it participates in. Much like a wallet reputation can be determined from blockchain participation over time.
Then that makes way more sense.
I've thought about this with the blockchain, where it will help, in some ways, I think it'll help establish truthfulness.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll be able to gather, it'll be history that won't be able to be manipulated as easy. I mean, everything's manipulatable, I think. So, just not as easy. And to what they're saying here is you won't have bad actors interfering with code. I don't know. I'm not sure. I guess you would probably have some sort of rating system you'd be able to see. Because I was going to say, I don't know how that's different than just having a regular user in a centralized network.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can link it to your wallet, you can carry this reputation along with you. So you can build up reputation in multiple different blockchains. You get what I'm saying? Then that way, that would be linked to your wallet, which is your ID, which is way different than trying to link all your IDs together. It's kind of, I think it would be like the single sign-in thing where you can link like your Google account across a lot of things, but now you have a real rating system against it. It's trustworthy. It's you.
Yeah.
Now what you do with it. It's not like somebody's rating against you. It's just your authentication, your participation, that you're super active in these networks. So then likely it's not that you would for sure have, you would want them to succeed, I would assume, if you're participating in them heavily. Something like that. I don't know. We'll have to check on that project. We'll keep an eye on Radical. Filecoin and Bitcoin. Is FVM making Filecoin the Bitcoin on our interplanetary file system?
I don't know what to say. Let's see.
What is FVM? Oops.
Yeah, let's start there.
It's a public blockchain.
Oh.
Similar to Ethereum. I think the BSC is Binance. I almost want to say that's Binance, but I don't know what BSC, what one that stands for. It's compatible with EVM so that various Ethereum applications can be grafted directly to the Filecoin ecosystem. The FVM chain will bring new dimensions to the Filecoin network. Decentralized ledger, smart contract, and storage. Wow. And what problem does it solve? These are good questions and answers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you're looking at a project, what is it? What problem do you solve? What advantages?
Yep, I like this. I like how they broke this out.
Is it a good investment? We don't care about that part. Oh, go ahead.
It does look like it's Binance.
It is Binance. Smart Chain. That's what it is. Binance Smart Chain. There we go. Thank you. That's their blockchain. Binance is the exchange. Binance Smart Chain is their blockchain. And BNB is their token for that blockchain. That's the exchange that I use. So I think it's an okay one. Back to FVM. I was just thinking, so we're going to start these 3 questions. We can start making a list of the different projects. What is the project? What problem does it solve? And what advantage does it have? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yep.
And so we'll answer these 3 questions. We'll try to answer these 3 questions, ask and answer them for the different cryptocurrencies in the top, not every single one, but all the ones that I like, or anything else that catches my eye. Because I was going to say the top 20, but I want to go all the way down to probably, Sandbox is down there. So we'll just pick and choose. Back to FVM though. The on-chain On chain data storage is a big underlying problem with blockchains. An enormous amount of blockchain data is stored on the Amazon cloud. The infrastructure of the decentralized world is, in fact, highly dependent on traditional centralized storage services. The integration of Filecoin Network and FVM will expand decentralized influence and promote Filecoin network scalability at the same time.
Hmm.
So, what advantage does FVM have? I was thinking, do I want to go look up Filecoin and talk about that project a little more, but it almost looks like it might help a little bit lower. Filecoins. Oh yeah, you wanted me to zoom. You didn't.
Hey,
You
that's
didn't
fine.
remind me.
I
Filecoins.
thought it was just me.
Well, I think it is. You and your twitchy eyes.
I know I got super twitchy eyes.
Filecoin's core business is blockchain storage. Its unique L0 protocols can build better ecosystems on all layers. Filecoin storage Filecoin storage layer, and FEM contract layer combined, the integration of smart contracts and proof of storage is the core of this new blockchain. The FBM blockchain has almost no competitors in the field of blockchain storage. I love how they throw in almost. So they do.
That's a good way of being like, I mean, there are some, but they don't count.
Yeah, but wouldn't you always, like, if you're trying to get investors, wouldn't you always minimize
Yep.
the competition? Yeah, we don't have real competition. I remember one of our CTOs was like, we're the gorilla in the room. There is no competition. And so we never really considered any of the competition real competition, which really was true. But at the same time, I don't know. They're still there. It's important to know about them.
Yeah.
So I guess they know about them and don't consider them a threat. Is Filecoin a good investment? Who knows? We won't talk too much about that. Yeah, let's look at.
That's not what we're here for.
Okay, so let's see what the chart looks like, though. Because they're like, it's not doing well. So here's Filecoin, ranked number 36. Over the last year, looks like the rest of the market. So all time, not looking so good.
Mm-mm.
But sometimes that's a good time to buy when things aren't. You don't want to ever buy right here at the tops. You always be sad. But let's see if they describe their own project the same way. Oh, aims to store humanity's most important information.
Aw, that's nice. If you read it like a robot, though, it doesn't sound as nice. Star humanity's most important information. Sorry. Sorry.
This is interesting. Um, Filecoin was founded by Juan Bonet, who also created the interplanetary file system.
Wow.
It's just funny. No wonder those two work together. So let's see what their competitors are, real quick, and then we'll take a break. Yeah, I remember seeing these people. Oh, there we go. 7 of them. Filecoin does. I do see them the most. Arweave, yep. BitTorrent, it's funny.
Did you make it bigger? I cannot see that at all. I can see where it says decentralized storage options. That was it. Okay, that's better. Thanks.
Because if you can't see, then the people listening can't see.
They definitely can't.
Yeah, and I don't think any amount of Zoom will help the people listening.
No.
Sorry, Craig. Sorry. Arweave.
We both said it.
Huh?
We both said that.
Arweave is not a blockchain. Designed for data performance, Arweave is a blockchain-like peer-to-peer storage protocol that is 100% community operated. The permaweb, an immutable environment, is its application that enables data storage. We'll have to look more at Arweave. I've seen that name. I thought they had something to do with the blockchain. So, BitTorrent token is a blockchain. One of the oldest and most well-known decentralized storage networks, BitTorrent has evolved an entire suite of products, including the BitTorrent file system. The file system aims to reduce storage costs, improve fault tolerance, and avoid government censorship. It is suitable for both file transfer and storage. That's interesting because it's been around for a really, really long time. And I would argue that it predates Bitcoin.
Let's see.
Bitcoin, if memory serves me right, 2009. So BitTorrent would be what, like 98, 99, 2000?
Initial release 2001.
Ooh, so close.
BitTorrent.
Yep, 2001.
And then Bitcoin.
A lot of silence. So I was thinking about the. Go ahead.
I was trying to figure out what I needed to look at.
Bitcoin's year of I don't know.
January 2009.
Yeah. Okay. 2009. So yep. Now my mouse is in slow-mo mode. So that's interesting that this one, because if you think about BitTorrents, torrents have been around for a while now, and their whole idea is decentralized. So you pull little bits and pieces of the file from multiple different sources because different people are storing it. And the file could be spread across multiple different nodes. You would use your little uTorrent or your torrent browser thingamajig application, and it connects to all the different things. So that would be probably what Filecoin modeled. Users pay to store their files on storage miners, which can be any internet-connected computer or dedicated system with spare disk space. And then Safe Network, never heard of that. Sia, peer-to-peer storage network that provides a marketplace in which renters form file contracts. That sounds complicated. Yeah, that sounds a little. And then you got storage. Storage. I like their wordplay, right?
Yeah.
Is that how that would be? Storage.
Storage. Yeah.
Network provides decentralized infrastructure that enables node operators to deliver storage that can be consumed by tardigrade customers. That's funny. Wow, they're cool. I like them. They have a bunch of cool stuff going on. The storage offers a fixed pricing structure and is S3 compatible with support for a wide range of use cases. Let's go look at them. Oh, wait, we gotta take a break. And then we'll come back and talk about storage. Huh?
I'm all out of coffee.
Yeah, so right now we just talked about Filecoin, and they operate off an interplanetary file system. BitTorrent, if you don't know what BitTorrent is, then I don't think you've been in the downloading scene at all. And so, which is bad. You don't want to be, you don't want to download anything unless you own the copyright to it. So, and then we'll talk about storage. All right, we'll be back in a few minutes.
All right. See you in a few.
Oh, I didn't turn on music for anybody. I'm sorry, everyone. I'm so sorry. No music. Maybe I can sing for you. No, that would be horrible. That would just not be any fun. And I was just coming back to do something. Oh, I had to recalibrate. That's what I was going to do. Don't want my avatar getting all wonky. So, yeah, peer-to-peer networks have been around for a little while.
So you're back?
Yeah, I'm just chit-chatting with our peeps. Oh, all I had to do is go a little lower. So, what do we got down here with? What does S3 compatible mean? Storage decentralized cloud object storage. What? Storage decentralized cloud object storage takes on. It just seems like there's too much storage in there.
Yeah.
We're not allowed to read this. Sorry. Sorry. Sorry, storage. So let's go find storage. How do they describe their project? Where is my search? Why do you think you would need decentralized storage? What would you use it for in your projects?
What do you mean?
What's the most what comes to mind the most for use cases for the interplanetary file system needing to store something somewhere and then access it? In this whole crypto blockchain world we've been talking about.
I don't know what you want me to say.
I am trying to have you say, like, the most obvious that we've talked about is NFTs. So in order to display the image or video or whatever it is, the file, in order to display the file, we have to store it somewhere. In our case, we chose to store it on the interplanetary file system, right?
Mhm. Yep.
But we could have just as easily used the storage. I mean, not as easily, because I don't think OpenSea was connected to it. Like, their smart contract doesn't use storage or one of these other ones. But that's what they would solve. So would there be any other use cases like documents? Would the document itself, like a scanned image of a document or an official document, would we be getting away from documents then at that point? Do you think the transition? Okay, I'm trying to think it out. Like, would we need the image of a house title or a car title? Let's make it easy, because those are I've never seen what a deed actually looks like when you own a house. You know what I mean? I've gotten a car title before handed to me. So you have a car title, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that shows like the official seal, kind of like a birth certificate, right? So you have this official image. Do you need that anymore when you have everything on the blockchain? Because the block itself, the GUID, would represent that. But are there any cases where you need an image or you need some extra storage to go with it? Something that you wouldn't be able to contain in the block of information that you committed, or that isn't really necessary at that moment, but you want to reference it.
Probably.
What if you were, I wonder if you would encode EDI data into the transaction, or if you would have an EDI file stored somewhere in decentralized, like saying you're doing file transfers for an integration of some sort. And so somebody posts their EDI file and then the other one can pick it up. Interesting. I don't know.
Yeah.
So what, maybe storage will help us. What is storage? Pronounced as storage, just like what we thought. It is an open source cloud storage program. Basically, it uses a decentralized network of nodes to host user data. Cool. The platform also secures hosted data using advanced encryption. Well, that's exactly what everybody wants.
Yep.
So, looking at their chart compared to Filecoin's, okay, let me duplicate this. It don't look good for Filecoin. Because the way I read this is Filecoin got really popular and then it didn't.
Yeah. It was really
Storage.
popular at the same time. That first spike is about the same time.
And I'm gonna overlay this just to give perspective of well, overlay it. Oh, I think I can, but I forget how to do it. General trend, right?
Mm-hmm.
A little different, but you can see the two spikes, right? And
Yep.
then going. And timeline wise, it looks like all this starts 2020 somewhere. So then over here we got, this has been around for a while, 2017, at least the tracking on it. And this one, not quite as old. But it looks to me like storage is gaining popularity between these two. This one just seems like it's dying off.
Yeah.
Now, this could be Filecoin's build phase, right? And you're getting ready to go over into this side of Filecoin, right? This is initial Filecoin. Looks kind of close.
Yeah.
So, but storage, on the other hand, seems to be doing all right. The founders, storage was founded by Sean Wilkinson in May of 2014, a software developer based in Atlanta. He saw how blockchain technology could be leveraged to build decentralized cloud storage network. Together with his co-founder John Quinn, wrote a white paper, published it, and the current version of Storage v3 was launched in the middle of 2019. In addition to being a blockchain enthusiast, Quinn had extensive background in business development, um, investment banking. We don't care about the founders. I want to know more about the project. What makes it unique? Oh, for one, unlike traditional cloud storage solutions that store data in huge data centers, it runs on a network of thousands. That doesn't make it unique. Thousands of independent computers. Anyone with a few extra terabytes of space can become a node on the platform by installing tardigrade. That is required. All that is required is a strong and consistent internet connection. Okay. We should set this up.
Yeah. I was thinking that too.
I was just like, this would be fun. Initially, about 500 million tokens were minted on Ethereum and hosted a token sale. 75 of those were burned. Now the total is just 425. So then they took half of that and locked it up in reserve, which I don't know if I like that. That means that they're guaranteeing that these aren't going to be used, but they could change their mind and sell them.
Yep.
And it would crash the whole thing, right? To me, that's like the rug pull side of it. But I know this is like kind of just saying they're confident. They're not gonna. It's trying to instill confidence, I believe. The token sales, 70 million tokens. Oh, I had 70 million released in circulation. This network of anonymous nodes. So, peer-to-peer network. The system is also peer-to-peer encrypted, which means that each file is encrypted before being dispersed to the network of independent hosts. Yeah, Filecoin didn't talk about encryption quite as much. Each node only receives a random fragment of the whole file with decryption keys split among each node and the host, making it impossible to hack. Node operators get rewarded for hosting data, as well as confirming the safety and retention of the hosted files randomly in a process known in the crypto world as mining, proof of work. Storage token is used for this purpose. Individuals or organizations who want to store their data on the networks provide the storage tokens paid to nodes. Okay. So this system ensures the user data is protected against hacks and other malicious attacks. It also removes the risk of storing data in a few isolated data storage units, which can be subject to a planned coordinated attack leading to mass loss of user data. Where can you buy the coins? You can buy them at places. It's really interesting. They really are heavy on the encryption side of things. I was always kind of wondering about that. If the interplanetary file system, if you could figure out some of the stuff that's stored on it. Okay, Filecoin, you're up. Let's see.
Let's see what you have to say for yourself.
Yeah, because I think they get to edit their own pages on this. or other people do. How is it secured? I don't see encryption anywhere in their words.
I know, I was just reading through quickly and I don't see it either.
Okay, so now we got to read for real. Filecoin is secured through proof of replication and proof of space-time. That really sounds like fancy words. Right?
Yep.
I read encryption. I know there is different levels of encryption, but I have a very basic understanding of encryption, right? I see the word, I understand what the intention and the meaning kind of is, right? I mean, because it gets really complicated, like with the different levels of encryption and like I don't know, a lot of stuff. So, but when I read proof of space-time, I'm like, okay, now I have to go look that up. And it's not bad to go look it up, but when you're trying to convince people that your stuff is secure and you're using things that everybody has to look up, it might not be secure. In the Filecoin network, nodes that are also known as retrieval miners are in competition to serve clients with data as quickly as they can. Okay? They are then rewarded with file fees, which encourages a network of nodes that want to replicate and preserve files. Storage miner nodes are constantly competing for contracts to provide storage to clients to a specific length of time. When a storage miner and their client agree to a deal, the storage miner holds the client's data in a sector and seals it to create a unique copy. Storage miners are rewarded. Yeah. I like what they're doing. So they're rewarding the people that can produce your data the quickest. Cool. Right? No problem with that. That's a good mechanism. So it incentivizes you to have a fast internet connection, have the stuff stored on fast computers. So then you probably get pinged and it says that you can return it in this quick. And then you're like, cool. And everybody pays everybody and we're all good to go. And these fees are like super low, but it's interesting. It's like, I need to pay you to get my data back. That is funny too, though. They don't mention anything with encryption anywhere.
I guess it's not. It's just there. And you just have to have your prove it to you.
Well, I kind of thought that when we minted our NFT and I had to just produce that interplanetary file link. But then it just seemed like the link itself could be retrieved.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I don't know if storage would not provide a link like in the similar way where you can just go to that URL and see your file. Filecoin encryption. Can you look up that proof of space-time? Yep. Well, there it is. Filecoin does not provide encryption. You can store encrypted data.
It's proof of space-time is proof that shows the prover has spent an amount of time keeping the reserved space unchanged.
That was that sealing part.
Mm-hmm.
This is interesting. So would you want to, as a programmer, flip between the two different storage mechanisms? Storing your sensitive data on the storage side and your not sensitive data on your Filecoin side. I'd imagine your fees, it would come down to fees and stuff. Like, the question would be, why wouldn't you want it encrypted? Well, there's some stuff that you don't need to encrypt, it's just pointless.
Right.
What are you trying to hide at that point? Because I mean, like, it's just, I don't know. And so then, if the encrypted file storage is always cheaper, then I guess you're just going to always encrypt it, no big deal. But if Filecoin is cheaper overall and storage is more expensive, then that would be important to go with one or the other. I think that it's important to circle back to this later on when we get into building our decentralized apps and needing storage, because you got to store stuff.
Yep.
Stuff that you don't want to contain within the block or can't contain. And the reason that I say you can't contain it is, what is it? Cardano, no, Cardano, yeah, whatever. Increase block size. So there is a limited amount of storage that you can put information in for the block. Blocks are batches of transactions that are confirmed and recorded in the blockchain. A larger size means more transactions can be included in each batch. So you're grouping a bunch of transactions together and committing them at once into the block. The problem is you can only put so much information in there, and that's why it's important to put the most important information in the block and then store your other information outside of it, so that when the block would be accessed, you would be able to look up that information in that outside storage. Mm-hmm. Kind of guessing on how this works as I'm getting into this new blockchain world. So that's why it's really important, and I believe we'll be using it coming up. So that's a deep dive into storage. A middle dive. Because I mean, it's a little more than just reading the articles or just lightly talking about, how the things work, or looking at pretty pictures on OpenSea, which we'll probably end with. We got 3 minutes. And oh no, I think there was somebody new. But I think the file storage thing is an interesting topic. And we need to understand that there is more storage available when we start looking at the different projects. As we look at Ethereum, Binance, Solana, Cardano, Avalanche, we might entertain Dogecoin because of that Twitter buy. But normally I would just skip over that. Those Polkadot, Polygon, definitely want to talk more about that, right? It's where our NFTs are minted on.
Yep. Definitely want to talk about that.
Cosmos, Tron, I don't think Litecoin, Near, maybe. So we'll hit most of them. Going down the list and seeing, and we'll start making a little list, and we'll try to answer those 3 questions, right? Mm-hmm. What were they?
What is it? What does it solve? And what is the advantage?
Yep. And we'll add a 4th one. Any cons? What are its disadvantages? Those would not come while we're like looking at it, right? Because it's not going to say, hey, this is my disadvantage. Maybe it does. But then when we compare the different projects, we can list, okay, this one has a disadvantage there. And then maybe that would help to look at what projects are going to be around long term, right? Because all this is super new. How many of them are going to really really going to be around. And if they keep getting hacked, they won't be around for very much longer. How an NFT creator lost 34 million due to a smart contract error. We can substitute error for a bug. So, what is it? A Major League Baseball player turned non-fungible token artist. Okay. So I do feel a little less sorry for somebody when it was imaginary stuff. They didn't technically lose their art, right? Because you don't lose the files. But you did lose all the momentum and the money. So, I mean, you still lose the money. I'm not saying there's anything acceptable about this. But like when they have these NFT artists, creators losing 34 million, this is more of a headline grab than
Clickbait.
Yeah, it's more clickbaity than what really happened. But he did. I mean, he did lose that money. That is accurate. So he was gonna sell. It looked like he was gonna sell his NFTs. A software engineer and the founder of the software company Afraid Labs warned of an issue with the smart contract. And then, so somebody tried to warn him, and he was like, "No, the developers told me." As the artist, you can only rely on your developers, unless you were the developer. They told me that you're wrong, and my code is just fine. And then a smart contract transforms the legal language we use to do in business into code, and then bakes it into the blockchain. While smart contracts aren't exclusive to NFT projects, they exist on the Ethereum blockchain, which is a public, decentralized record of cryptocurrency transactions. So this goes on to talk about his incidents.
What happened?
Oh, once the project was up and running, in a matter of hours, a second. Let me go to the first incident. Okay. So we have some sort of safeguards in place. It was such a big mint, and I knew a tweet like mine could affect whether or not they sell out. For example, I didn't want to cause any trouble for them, so I said, yeah, it looks fine. And then maybe a half hour later, someone had exploited the issue. So what is the issue? Okay, so somebody also said user 221 urged the Aku team, please do a bug bounty on your contracts or have them audited at least, which is very important. And after having a bit of fun, the user announced they would not exploit the vulnerability if the team publicly announced the flaw existed. Once the project was up and running again, in a matter of hours, a second incident occurred where the team's smart contract code failed to account for multiple NFT mints within the same transaction. Ooh. Ooh, that's interesting. Per thread, this error in the smart contract led to 11,000 ETH, worth about 34 million as of Friday, being permanently locked in the smart contract. The funds are entirely inaccessible. How did it get stolen? Someone exploited this contract very early on and they locked the funds. If If the team would have noticed that the withdraw error when it was just a small mistake, basically, and if the attacker left it locked for 3 days where nobody else could process refunds, after 3 days, everyone would get their money back. But how things are currently, the funds are locked now, forever. It's a very, very unique circumstance.
So people put their money in and they didn't get anything for it.
Okay, yeah. See, this is, I believe, it's okay. I'm gonna try to explain what I think happened and how this is from my understanding of the blockchain. So you would have to commit your money to the transaction, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if it's being processed, it's locked up. And I don't know what it means by somebody being able to control the lock, but probably until the receiver or at some point it's locked until the nodes can validate it. And it's not just like one computer. It has to be multiple nodes because that's part of the trust. And there's I believe a percentage or a degree. There's rules to how much it needs to be validated. So it seems like that during that process, that money that people put in to buy all those different NFTs, and I don't know if it was like 34 million. I'm trying to think through how would like a lot of different people buying an NFT, like buying a lot of different NFTs, all get in the same transaction. Like, because I'm kind of thinking, okay, so they release them and everybody hits it at once, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then the odds of it getting in the same block are pretty high, I'd imagine. Because I was trying to think, like, I check in like an hour later and I'm like, oh, I'm going to buy one, right? It's a different block. So, but yeah, if you had like everybody rushing to do it, it's possible. So yeah, then it is in process and it just basically got locked away. Like it never got resolved, it seems like. And so the money, they said that there is, if the team would have noticed, I don't know how they messed it up. If the team would have noticed the withdraw error, then when it was just a small mistake, it must have been the first time. Basically, if the attacker left it locked for 3 days where nobody else could process the funds, after 3 days, everyone would get their money back. But somebody did something, so. But the original bug is interesting. How do you account for? You have to search the transaction block itself to account for multiple NFT mints in the same block, right?
Yeah.
I don't know how you'd miss that in a way. Because it's kind of like, that would make sense that that's possible, but I would have to see what the code would look like for that. Because if you're allowing, when we made 20 of our NFTs, if everybody rushed and bought them all at one time, if that smart contract allowed 100 people to buy them, I wonder what it would do. Is it maybe that's what they're saying, locked up? I didn't know how to resolve that, and just like, everybody loses.
We'll just keep all this.
Yeah, we'll just keep all this, and it's not even.
So continue on with your day.
Yeah, you don't need that 34 million.
Yep.
That's what the creator of Ethereum does. That's how he gets richer. But it is important to have your code validated and checked. So we'll end on that. We'll end on this super sad story.
This is a sad story?
No, that other one. I was just looking at the other tabs I had. None of them are better. These hackers are targeting developers. This was for us. Developers and DevOps teams.
Oh.
Real-time voice concealment algorithms block microphone spying. And then what we talked about. So protect your bit. Oh yeah, we'll talk about those next time. How has the El Salvador Bitcoin rollout? Remember how we talked about smaller numbers?
Yep.
See, it's just represented normal. But they can only spend Bitcoin. What was this? Oh yeah, burn mechanisms. We just really only made it there. So we'll slide these guys down. All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks.
I hope
That was
that
fun.
we confused you thoroughly about decentralized storage.
Well, you
And
gotta start somewhere.
we will, now that you've had all that information spewed, you can process it, look it up, figure out if you need to adjust your storage needs. Get away from Azure. Not Azure, AWS, right? Get away from AWS. We like Azure. Azure's good.
Yeah, we use that.
Yep. All right. Well, everyone have a good week, and we will see you on Saturday.
Yeah, can't wait. It'll be fun. Bye.
We'll come up with the title by then.
Oh.
All right.
Oh yeah, we need to do that, and I need to get to drawing.
Ooh, fancy drawing. All right. Bye.
Bye.